Yeah, my name's Louis Zulli. I'm been an educator for 40 years. Of course, not a ed tech educator, but an educator for 40 years. I've been a IT teacher, CS teacher, and network administrator for the Center for Advanced Technologies in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's the first STEM program in Florida. We were chartered in 1990.
Yeah, wow. Man, 1990, that's before STEM was,
Oh,
that wasn't even a word then.
Yeah, we like to say we were STEM before STEM became popular.
Oh, there you go. That's right. You were STEM before STEM was cool.
And imagine trying to get, at the time, Apple Talk systems to talk to PC systems that were still on DOS and Windows 3.0.
Right, yes.
And we had an actual Unix lab at the time, and trying to get all three of them to talk at once was an amazingly interesting proposition. You have Apple Talk over here saying, "Hi, I'm ready. I want to talk to somebody." It has to go through a ComTalk router. They just get to Ethernet to talk to the Novell servers. That's how bad it was.
Oh wow.
Novell.
Yes.
Wow.
That's good stuff. Wow, that's really interesting that you're talking about that. I remember it now. I was a senior in college in 1990, but I remember the 90s. I was a band director, and we all used Macs because that's what music people we always did. And I came into a system on Novell, and I had here we go. This is going to be fun. But
that's right.
Wow, so that's an exciting career.
Well, I was just going to say. So you said for 40 years, but I would like you to share what you shared with us. Why you're here?
Oh, this is my last, probably my last FETC. I've been. This is my 27th one, and I'm retiring in May.
Well, congratulations on your retirement and your 27th FETC. So that is phenomenal. I don't even know how long has FETC been around. Like 27 years. Right?
37.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to know.
It might actually be 30. I come to think of it, but we'll figure this out. Somewhere in there.
It's a little gray when you start getting back that far. Yes. So, looking over, and I know this is off the cuff and out of the blue, but thinking back over what how FETC has changed and evolved over that 27 to 30 year period, and also thinking back at some of the things that hasn't changed. And good, bad, or ugly over that time period. What are some of some of the first things that kind of pop into your head?
Well, I think the sheer number of sessions that are being offered, and really in-depth sessions that are addressing the proliferation of technology in the classroom, and specifically the pedagogy on how to use it. That is really changed.
Yeah.
I still, and this is just my personal prejudice, I guess.
Sure.
I still think they're just a little bit too focused at times on the elementary school level instead of in the upper grade levels and the gifted levels. I will say that.
Okay.
But that's just coming from a high school teacher who has been in the high school for so long.
Yeah.
A lot of times you go into the sessions and you hear what they're going to say, and then you parse it and say and figure out how that can be applied.
Right.
But to the credit, those number of sessions are growing each and every year.
Yeah.
It's also less on here's this cool app type of session. It's more of look. How do we apply all of this wonderful stuff that's floating out in the market? Also, how do you get through all the wheat, get through all the chaff to get to the wheat?
Right. Yeah. Right.
That's one of the big things I enjoy. The Expo Center has grown. The Expo Center has really grown, and it's funny as computers have miniaturized. The Expo Center has grown. I remember when everything was so huge that it took 5 or 6 tables just to show one monitor.
Right.
And 2 computers.
Yes.
Whereas now you can show a complete line in a smaller booth, and yet the amount of vendors and ed techs has grown tremendously.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of old timers will remember the the boxes of stuff that you could take home from, and all of the T-shirts that were available for sale on the floor. I don't miss those because I really love to see the professionalism of the exhibit hall now.
Yes.
And that really appeals to me. Been to so many professional shows like CES and the old Comdex, and going to a lot of the professional shows. I've been blessed to go to a lot of the professional shows around the world. As a speaker, you see that now being reflected here at FETC, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, we had Nathan Lang from CDWG in earlier, and all he talked about was education and thinking and planning and getting computers. And it wasn't about selling you a product; it's about moving education forward. And that's the professionalism that the exhibit floor has now become.
How do we move it forward? And that's just so good to see.
How long has it taken us to get to that point? That's the
well, it's funny. I'm leaving it at such a wonderful time. It's a very chaotic time as we try to figure out where all of these devices are going to fit in.
Right.
And we have been trying to figure out where all these devices are trying to fit in. But I think the cloud is what's going to equalize everything.
Yes.
And that's where I really think I'm leaving at kind of bittersweet moment. We're really primed to take off and cut all the wires. At the same time, we have to figure out how to make it all work in the classroom. Again.
Yeah. That's one of the other things, talking about the exhibit floor and about making stuff happen. We love this new term, edupreneurs. We love that. And that's what we're looking for. We finished the show at 4, and then we hit the floor with our mobile recorder to visit the booths for 2 hours. And I can't wait to hit the startup area because there's so many teachers that have
great ideas,
having a new life, still providing wonderful services for education.
I have got a good friend. Have you heard of Don Wettrick?
Yeah.
Don?
Yeah. He's one of my Facebook friends, man.
Okay, Don is, his whole concept of applying entrepreneurship to the classroom and to getting teachers to think more like entrepreneurs is just resonating across the country.
Oh, absolutely.
He is brilliant in how he is messaging this and how he has been able to take that energy and that entrepreneurship. Basically, it all comes down to we can't be afraid to fail.
Right.
Anything we try in the classroom, anything we try with the kids, anything we try, no matter what, we cannot be afraid to fail. And that's where I see it being primed to move education. No one's going to be afraid to fail any longer.
Right. Well, and I certainly hope so. That's always one of those.
You hit a key point with us. Doing something
always,
like this.
Well, just hang on a sec. When you have that situation, at least when I grew up, I can't speak for everybody. When I grew up, failing was, it was an option per se, but basically failing was never. You weren't allowed to fail. Or if you failed, you were then pigeonholed over here or pigeonholed over there, and it was just you were lambasted or shamed or no matter what you did, if you failed to accomplish whatever was going on in class, you were essentially the outcast in class. And I think that whole premise of being allowed to try things and fail at things, or not even necessarily failing, but just not succeeding in the way you thought you were going to succeed in that particular, whatever that endeavor happened to be in the classroom. And we're getting to that point where it's okay to fail, because the failing means, at least hopefully, the failing means there is a lesson there to be learned, so that you do it the next time, and you know what? You still might fail in a different way. And the next time, maybe you don't quite fail the same way. And eventually, guess what? You succeed. And then at that point, who knows where you go?
Absolutely. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. See, they all blend together after this many.
Is that when you know when to get out?
Yeah. But Jane McGonigal, the keynote speaker, I'm sure, are you familiar with her Reality is Broken? It's about gaming and gamers and how they don't worry about failing because they learn to do something
Right.
from it. Just as to your point, well, this is the gaming generation,
Yeah.
from kindergarten up through the most avid gamer in high school. They know that if they're going to go down one path and get they get blown up or they fall off the cliff, they'll respawn and they'll have another time to work out their problem.
Right.
It becomes a problem-solving skill.
Yes.
And you have to admit that a lot of these gamers are better at problem solving than some of the best and brightest clinicians out there.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yes,
it. That's
absolutely.
about you hit debugging on the head in its simplest form.
Yes.
Thinking and doing patterns. And that's what the gaming generation, the Minecraft kids, they get that. Okay, what's the pattern? Let me debug this. Let me start over, and this time I'll get it right. That's something that never happened even in my generation, because failure was just this fear of failure. Oh, it's the fear of failure, and for teachers, there's also that fear too. And that's why we do this, is to give educators an opportunity to tell us their story, to tell us their journey, and don't be afraid to share it. Because once you get into the conversation, it's like, oh, this is really comfortable. This is kind of fun. I'm telling some of my story, and we hope that they leave and start a blog or start a podcast or get their kids to do the same thing, because this is it. Talking and doing is, and funny, look where our country is. Our kids are now comfortable in talking and protesting. Let's keep them talking. Let's not burn cars, but let's talk.
Yeah.
But they get it now, and it's our opportunity to let them understand that. And that's really interesting that, yes, people say, oh, the cloud and the instantaneousness of the web is killing us. Yeah, it is, but it isn't. It's making us a more conversational, society, I believe.
It is. I've been thinking about that a lot lately, about the relative merits and the relative drawbacks of being too social.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's still something I'm dealing with. I was a big proponent of social, still am, but I'm starting to see the real downside of social. Can it be used effectively? Absolutely. There is no doubt that it can be used effectively. Does it need to be vetted and monitored? We all know that it does. But then what happens when you get a person that has isolated themselves into one stream of thought on social?
Right.
And then it becomes just an echo chamber to what they believe. And that could foster some of the worst types of reactions, a la, let's go burn up some cars.
Right. Right.
Bingo.
But still, it does help in the skills and the necessary communication skills. Getting back to one of the things that you were talking about in allowing students to fail.
Yeah.
Our program that we've put together, that I've been working now since '97, have created this program, is one where the students we call it throwing them into the deep end of the pool. We present them with really tough, not problems, but projects,
Okay.
things that they have to solve. I will not sit there and feed them the answers.
Right.
They have to go research it. They have to construct it, and they have to work in teams. And these students, over the years, have generated some of the most amazing results.
Yeah.
And to see that people and educators are realizing that project-based learning in the classroom can be applied at all levels instead of the rote, what you were talking about earlier, the rote, you failed this test, therefore you have to go sit in the corner.
Right.
Which is probably the way I was brought up back in the 60s. And graduated in early 70. Now you can figure out my age. That the going to a more hands-on, project-based knowledge building instead of rote recitation
Right.
is how you truly, as we've discovered, is how you truly build knowledge. So therefore, it goes right into that gaming generation. This is the perfect marriage of the gaming generation and project building, whether it Minecraft, whether it be Kodu, whether it be BrainPop, whether it be all of these wonderful applications and projects that you can use out there, whether it be constructing something to be used in CS, to be constructing used on the iPad, or if you're going to be developing for a Windows platform or even Chrome, and Android. All of these things are entirely within the student's grasp right now,
Right.
which is what I was talking about being such an exciting time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
So, in your retirement, I hope that you continue. I know you're going to retire, but are you really going to retire?
Well, my wife said our first trip is to Ireland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there you
Nice.
go. That'll be fun.
But she's also an ed tech educator.
Okay. So, there's a lot of great things going on in Ireland. There's a lot of tech in Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
Apple's put in a
Microsoft has got a big thing there.
And their private
Apple,
schools are
Google,
very
yes.
one-to-one in Ireland. Yeah. In fact, I forget, we used to follow a blogger, a podcaster from there that was an IT tech at one of the schools. I'll think of his name here in a second. But he's one of the big guys over there. But yeah, so I hope that you still get your ideas out there to us.
I don't know what I don't know what retirement's going to be like.
Yeah.
I know I want to relax for a while.
Yes.
Although my wife says that the first project is to redo the garage. So
Yes. Yes.
People always say, well, I guess retirement's like having a summer vacation. I was like, you really don't get summer vacation. Teachers work through summer vacation.
That's right.
I said, it's more like an extended snow day, because a snow day for a teacher is like, hey, snow day, I'm just not going to do anything today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like extended snow day.
well, the last winter break, 2 weeks off of winter break, it's called practice retirement. I could do this.
That is
So
great.
if folks wanted to get in touch with you, do you have a Twitter handle?
Yeah, at Zulli, LZULLI.
Awesome.
Do you mind if we have a picture?
No. It'll break everything.
We like to tweet everything out. Let me get a picture of you and David.
Cool. That'll work.
Come around there, or
No. You say right
Okay.
there. We're pretending to do an impromptu. That's right. We're pretending to do an impromptu conversation. Picture. That's right.
Oh yeah, like they see,
Thanks, guys.
like on Jeopardy, they go rutabaga, 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 rutabaga.
Exactly. Yeah. There's I can't remember what that's called now. It's the whatever acting method where you do that. And before you go, we have a parting gift for you for hanging out with us for a while.
Little
You get
Two
little
handsome.
tchotchkes, that's
I love the handsomeness of
That's
it. Does not make me feel alone any longer.
That's right.
It's really great to talk to you.
Wonderful to talk to you. It's wonderful that you know Don.
Yes.
That I've listened to your podcast a couple times, and so I was
thank you very
interested
much.
in meeting you.
Well, thank
that
you.
was great. I appreciate you stopping
We're
by.
trying. We get a little better every time. We love doing conference coverage because of this right here. I was telling David earlier, we might, and this is a push. We might learn more here than going to sessions.
I learned more talking to in the past, I would learn more from talking to the people that gave the sessions after the sessions
Yes.
than during the sessions.
Yeah.
Because having done sessions before here and other places and been a speaker, you only have that X block of time.
Right.
And you can never get in depth. It's usually over a cup of coffee or
Right.
some water after the session that really you can go in depth
I agree.
and pick brains.
Yeah.
So this is a natural. I'm surprised you're not on the floor though.
Well, it's really interesting. It's quiet out here. The floor would be really loud for us.
Yeah.
But this is the first time LRP has invited us. They were really nice to have us here to be a part of this. And we hope we're making them happy. What's nice is when we finish this, we'll cut your interview out and we'll put it up online. You're welcome to use it anywhere if you ever want to.
Oh,
it'll
thank
be
you.
on iTunes. It'll be on Google Play, Stitcher, you name it. You'll be able to find it out there, and we'll email you. But the cool part is that we hope we're providing a service for all these teachers and these educators, so that they can go back later and listen. So
I listened. Well, Don used to have his podcast. Now he does his live. But Vicky Vicki Davis, cool cat teacher.
Yeah, cool.
She's interviewed me a couple times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, and Don's got his new podcast.
Yeah.
Start Ed Up.
Start Ed Up.
Yeah.
That's been very exciting. So thank you very much.
Well, and
That's cool.
we'll maybe get you on the regular show. We do a show every Wednesday. A regular show. We'd love to have you back on, especially near the end of this semester. So ready to finish up, and you can tell us, what's going on as you're wrapping up your career and getting ready to head to retirement.
Well, they're looking for my replacement, and that's the big one right now.
Yeah.
They don't want the program to wither.
Right.
So they're trying to find a replacement for me. Job's open. Anybody want a great job at a great school?
Hey, there you go. How would they
Just look on the Pinellas County website, pcsb.org, and go under available jobs. And mine is listed at the Center for Advanced Technology.
Okay.
The requirements on there. I wrote the job description, so it's pretty accurate. So we're looking for people that would be willing to take a program that's pretty well vested, but move it forward on their path, not keeping it the way I did it. They have to move it. They have to take it to the next step, next generation, and do even better.